What is going on, guys? It is Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today I have this guy to review. This is the Spartan Blades Pallas. Such a cool little button lock. Oh, stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. All right, today we are going to be taking a look to do the full review on the Spartan Blades Pallas. The Pallas is the Titan god of Warcraft, which is super cool. Spartan Blades, an awesome American company that I love so much. After I got this one, I ended up getting another Spartan Blade that is due to review here in a little while. The Spartan Harsey Folder, which is one of the special editions. Have a really cool story to tell you about that knife and that whole situation, but we are going over this one today. So I have had a few across the channel button lock flippers or button lock knives. I even did a comparison between this, the Protec Mordax, the Malibu, and the Spyderco Smock, because those are the ones I had at the time. And this one won it out. I have actually, the Malibu was not mine. It was Jake from over at Bearded Gear. Sent that knife back to him. The Mordax and the Smock both got traded for another knife that is on its way. So really cool. Hopefully be here next week. We'll do an unboxing on that. This knife won them out as far as the button locks in my collection. This is now the only button lock folder that I have. And I don't think I need another one. Reason being is, first of all, this knife is a big boy. I like the big knives. This thing is about 8 3/4 inches long with a 3.75 inch blade and a 3.5 inch cutting edge with 150 thousandths thick blade stock. That's the kind of stuff I like. It's the kind of stuff that gets me excited. I like the bigger blades. This one is kind of thick behind the edge. It cuts really, really well with things like cardboard and whatnot. It flies through it. However, it is about 30 thousandths behind the edge. So that is, thicker than a lot of other knives, as far as EDC carries. But it comes super sharp. And like I said, cuts like cardboard, stuff like that, those harder tasks, the zip ties, like a dream. This is the only button lock that I had that I would say could handle the heavier duty stuff. This is a heavy duty blade. It has a huge chunk of S35 VN steel, which they do their S35 VN very, very well. It's that deep cryogen or double dip cryogenic heat treat. It's a heat treat, but then the cryo system, I'm not 100% knowledgeable on the way that they do it. But apparently from what I read, they do it very, very well. I absolutely love the heavy stone wash that they put on these blades. Oh, that's so beautiful. It makes me happy. It shows less wear. Just an excellent, excellent blade and shape, excellent grinds. It is a saber grind, goes up, about 3/4 of the way forward. The thumb stud is mostly out of the way of the cutting path. So, really, really well. We have the aluminum handles, the 6061 T6 aluminum, which a lot of makers use as far as handle material. It's a very strong material, very light material. And I absolutely love it. Most of your Protecs are going to have it. Most of your Microtecs are going to have it, and is a very durable handle material. A lot of people were like, it's not titanium. Well, I don't have to have titanium. On this knife, it definitely works. As you can see, they have their awesome Spartan logo here, and I'm just a huge fan of the company and this logo. Oh, that looks amazing. Of course, you see USA. This one is, of course, made entirely in the USA, which we always appreciate and love to support the makers in our country. The back is sterile. No more. Hey, come on. Focus, you. Focus. Back is sterile. As you can see, that beautiful stone wash finish. Does have a spanner bit on the side with Torx in the front. They are Torx, oversized Torx screws. With the slots cut in it for added grip, and it does everything quite well. They're kind of a, small, large, big space, little space, little. I like the way they did it. It really does hold or give you a little bit more grip right here when you're holding the knife. And then, of course, it does not have it on the back side, which is good because it has this very excellently made arrow clip, which is just freaking, I just love it. It's amazingly beautiful. Also has that same stone wash. Goes in and out of pocket very, very well. It is not a deep carry knife because if you are here and you know me, I don't have to have deep carry. I like to be able to grab hold of my knives outside of the pocket most of the time. So it sits like this, and I usually pull the knife out right here. So that works well for me. It's going to probably annoy some people, but I love it. Of course, the action on this flipper, boom, comes out each and every time. And then, of course, the free fall of the button lock, just amazingly wonderful. I absolutely love the action. It does have two means of deployment, which is the flipper tab and then the thumb, oh my gosh, the thumb studs, geez, couldn't talk, which work absolutely great. Matter of fact, work a little bit better in my opinion to flip this knife out. The flipper tab, you can do the light switch, but I prefer to do the push button, which works amazingly. But of course, the wonderful, wonderful thing about this and the detent that it has is that I can use that thumb stud to do the Spidey flick. That is a game changer for me, which makes this knife, the build quality and that right there really won this over for me. Size, build quality, the fact that I can Spidey flick, and then the ergos. Oh, this knife, the ergos are awesome. You guys know that I usually like on my knives a forward finger choil, and the Mordax had that, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little sharp on the back end. I really could never figure it out because on the Mordax, because it really wasn't sharp on the flipper tab, but when I put my finger in there, for some reason, it kind of poked me. This one doesn't have it, as you'll see. However, the way this thing is, the ergos on this handle and this area right here where I can put my thumb just locks me in like crazy, and I just feel like I don't even need the finger troll, which is so weird for me because I usually just absolutely love a finger troll and really almost always feel like I would rather have a knife have one. This, I don't feel like that. That is amazing. The shape of the handles, the way it comes thinner here and then gets a little bit fatter in the back, just works wonderfully for my big old meat hook hands in every sense of the direction. You know, the reverse draw cut, all these different kind of awkward handle positions other than your regular hammer and saber grip all feel wonderful. I feel locked in. It's absolutely amazing. You do have no jimping up here next to the flipper tab, which is nice because when if your finger lands on it, you don't feel anything. Does have some jimping back here that I don't feel as actually usable for me. You know, I don't really feel it back here or here. It might touch my hands a little bit, but I don't really feel it. However, in the reverse grip, which is probably why it's there, it does. So it does have a purpose. There, of course, is no jimping in here because there's no like lock bar or anything like that. Just an excellent, excellent knife that I am so happy to own. This one is an S35VN. However, they are switching to S45VN on some of their products here in 2020. So you can get this in S45VN, which I think is awesome. Let's go ahead and get some size comparisons. So I'm just as an excuse to pull this out because I love it so much. Here is the Spartan Harsey Folder Special Edition. Both of these are big knives. As you can see, they're really similar in size. Of course, you have the button lock, frame lock, so very similar there. And stay tuned for the review on this guy because I have a lot to say. Let's see. Here it is against the Hinder XM18 3.5 inch. As you can see, quite a bit longer than the XM18 3.5 inch. It's the XM24, which I don't have in front of me right now, is a little bit longer than this. Some of the other bigger blades that I have. Here it is against the Monster 8015.
What the hell did you just say?
As you can see, pretty similar in overall size. And then the other monster that I have is the Benchmade Crooked River. So those are about the same size, all those knives, so you can get an idea on the size of this thing. It's not a small knife. It's a big boy, and I like the big boys. So very, very nice. I just, what I experienced with some of the other button locks is the fact that most of them were just flippers, except for the Schmuck. The Schmuck had a hole where I could do the Spidey flick. It was, fidget factor overload. This one makes me so happy that the reverse flick almost comes out with more authority than anything else, and I love it. Also, when I press the button, the fact that it does drop shut, and very rarely does this thing bounce back. It sucks this knife in really well. The Malibu did it very well, as but it did come out every now and again. The Mordax did bounce out every now and again. This one seems to be a little bit better on the close of the knife, where whenever you are putting it back in there, that it sucks it up and doesn't bounce the blade back out. That's a huge deal. I love that. It didn't really bother me. I mean, I say it's a huge deal, but it didn't bother me on the Mordax. But now that I have this in the hand and I'm playing with this thing, I do appreciate it. It does feel very, very good. Not to know that thing's just going to fly back out there. This is such a sturdy, well-built knife. The construction on it, oversized hardware. You have stainless steel barrel spacers that are done really, really well. Oversized, very sturdy knife. Like I said, on most button locks, I don't feel like they are meant for hard work. Oh man, I would not hesitate to do some hard work on this. The lockup is rock solid. The only thing that when it is closed, I can feel just a little bit. See how the movement there? I can feel that just a little bit whenever I'm shaking it. I'm not sure. I might be able to remedy that, fix that, but I mean the lockup itself is very solid, and I, most of the time don't feel that at all. It is something that is there. It just kind of moves just a hair. So all in all, this is, in my opinion, the perfect button lock knife. I know a lot of people are not going to want to, carry this as an EDC just because of the, the size. These are big slabs of aluminum. They are not milled out in the inside. So the weight on this guy is, I think it's like right under 5 ounces. So it's right at 5 ounces. And, that weight for me is totally fine. I love carrying this knife. I mean, the profile is pretty good. You have this in pocket, you have jimping here, but it's not sharp to where when I reach my hand in, it catches me or nothing. Kind of the way the angle of the pocket clip is, it's angled enough where I can't talk. Flipper tab is not in the way. I mean, the flipper tab is really not that big compared to a lot of knives. Just look at it compared to the Hinderer. I mean, it doesn't stick out like that, and is very, very rounded off. It does not have any jimping on it, so it's a very, very comfortable flipper tab, especially for doing the push button, and it doesn't get in the way in the pocket, so it carries excellently. If you can get away, or if you don't mind not having a deep carry clip, I know some people are they gotta have it. This thing is perfect in the pocket. Other than that, hands down my favorite button lock knife that I have ever handled. I don't know of anything that could really beat this thing. I'm willing to hear people's opinions. You can definitely be like, I like this better, because I've only handled a few. But this one is definitely staying in my collection, not only because it's just a wonderful beast of a knife, but I also love the company Spartan Blades. Like I said, we will go over more when I do the full review of the Spartan Heartsey Folder Special Edition of how much I love Spartan Blades. But I am a fan for life and a customer for life. So, yeah, another wonderfully made blade that is made in the United States by veterans. Just an awesome company, an awesome knife. I can't get, really, ever since I got this thing, it's made it in my pocket a lot. And I've got a lot of knives to review. So if I have some, this has made it in the pocket a lot. And then I'll put the other knives that I'm reviewing as a secondary to still use those and test those out throughout the day. That's how much I love this thing. It's so much fun. I forgot to mention, one of the things that I love about Giant Mouse is the crowning spine. This one is not as full of a crown, if I get to focus, as Giant Mouse does, but you can see a partially crowned spine there. which is very well rounded off. So it's just beautifully extra step that I love. Most people call this a little harpoon, but it's not. It's just there for your thumb, and it's perfect spot for me in my hand size to make this nice a knife a dream in the hand. Oh, I just love it. And of course the classic drop points blade. Boom. This knife is money. One of my favorites. Guys, stay tuned for more if you want to see more. I've got so many different reviews that I'm doing. People sending me knives. This community is awesome. Definitely go check out me on Instagram if you have a moment. I do have an Instagram, which is the same name as the channel, DTOM Knives and Gear. Stay tuned, hit the subscribe, the like, and the notification bell, because I do giveaways, so you'll be notified when that happens. Stay safe out there in this crazy world that we're living in, and we will see you in the next one.